Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Ask the Pros Business, where we speak to business owners and entrepreneurs. They come on the show to share their business journey, guys. And I've got a wonderful guy here, Sam, all the way from New Zealand. He's doing an amazing job. I hooked up with him on Instagram, and from there we've been kind of like friends, talking about different things, and he's here to share his journey and his story. And this guy has got an amazing story, guys, and he's going to help you a lot in terms of growing your business. And Sam, on this show, we always start from the beginning, which means telling us how the journey started for you. For you, how did it all begin, Sam?
Cool. Awesome. Well, kia ora from New Zealand, or kia ora. How it all started for me was I've always been someone that's really self-assured of myself and, backed myself and that sort of thing. And I probably wasn't living up to the standard that I felt I was truly capable of. And I always wanted my own business. And through, I guess, reflection, my son was about to be born. I was like, I need to fully commit to myself and figure out what I am happy with, what I'm not happy with, and really reflect. Life's a wonderful thing and it's a great opportunity. And I just felt that, I wasn't living to a standard. So I decided at the end of the year, I was going to give up alcohol and, just test myself with a few different bits and pieces. And so on the 24th of December, I decided to give up alcohol for 12 months. My son was going to be born, and just get rid of a few things that I wasn't quite happy with. I was training quite hard, and then, you'd fall off, and I'm 31 coming up 32 now. It takes a while to bounce back, when you're hungover. And, I like a beer or two. And I just, decided to commit to myself and see what I could, truly achieve. And I tried these things so many times, but it took me time to get to that stage. So like I picked up meditation, I started reading, I started training a lot harder, focusing on nutrition, and it was just laying all these foundations. And then it was about I got to about March, and just wonderful things started happening because I was holding myself accountable to be the best version of myself, because I felt that everyone else would get the best of me from that. And then I've always wanted my own brand. So as you can see in the corner there, I've got the Red Bull fridge, and I worked at Red Bull. And then after that, I was at Under Armour. So working for these amazing brands, I know what culture is. I know what an amazing environment is. And I decided I always wanted my own brand, but I just never sort of backed myself fully, and just thought, I'm doing great things. Life's pretty good. I've got a couple of homes, and, and I just thought, there's more to this. So I just thought, what, my mate started printing on t-shirts, and I, probably 4 or 5 years earlier, I'd come up with a brand and gone through that journey. And then I just never pulled the trigger on it, because I just didn't think it would work, I guess. And then I just decided, what, I'm just going to put it out there based off my values. How can I, make more of an impact out there? What can I do to, cement my legacy as a human, and help me on my journey to be better and see what I'm truly capable of? So that's when I wanted a business. I didn't know what it was. And you kind of feel a little bit entitled, you think these things are just going to happen, and they don't. So I just decided, hey, come up with an idea, register a business, and build it out from there. And so that's when Better Than Before was born. I registered the business, and I wasn't selling any products, but that was a proud moment in my life, because I was still a business owner. I still, owned something. And then from there, I've just started to evolve it from there. And I'm coming up 10 months sober now. And life is pretty damn good. There's been some amazing things, like I didn't have social media. I've come onto social media now, and in the past sort of 7-8 months from the start of the year, or from when I started this in March, I've now got a sponsor on board. I get up on my terms. I just had a coffee. I just read a book. I'm jumping on a podcast now. Like, life is, absolutely phenomenal. And it's through action. It's through accountability. It's through reflection. And one of the biggest things for me is progress over perfection. You're never going to be perfect. It's all about learning lessons. It's about evolving, and just laying that foundation. It's just one brick at a time, consistently moving forward. And sometimes you're going to keep falling into, old habits. And if you can understand, or be a little bit more aware, you start falling into those holes a little bit less, and when you do fall into holes, they're a little bit shallower, because you've squared yourself away in other aspects of life. So I also have, like, throughout my family and stuff, there's been alcohol abuse and things, and it was like I could easily, have a few beers in that now. Like it's still, nice hot day, and you're chucking the footy around with the boys, and a beer would be great. But it's not only setting a standard for myself; it's now it's bigger than me. Like I've got to set a standard and help others, and it just wasn't working for me. So. There's more to that. I'm far from perfect, but it's about my ideal version of happiness and, what that looks like. So for, I guess, anyone out there, it's just about, reflecting on, okay, what works for me, what doesn't work for me. Let's, work on these to get rid of them. Let's dial down on what our strengths are, and figure out, you got to figure out your why. That's one of the most important things. You're here, I feel as though you're here for a reason. So the sooner you can realize, and you can literally build something from nothing. Like I think this is another reason why I'm doing this, is because it's just, I put some things down on paper. I love sport. I love culture. I've always loved branding and things like that. And now I've just started to create it. And I still don't know what the overall vision, or what it will look like, as I continue to move forward, but I'm going to try new things and say, okay, this works and whatnot. And then just continue to adapt, continue to evolve. And that's probably the most important thing. So that's, I guess, a little bit about my journey so far.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam, man. It's been an amazing journey, and I'm for what I can see right now, from what I can see, life is definitely better than before, and I love your brand as well. I love the name as well. It's great, but in creating a brand, and having a business as well, the name matters a lot, but your business is better than before. I like it, I like the message behind it. I like the idea as well, But what made you choose that name though?
What made me choose this name? So I just want to quickly touch too. So the one of the missions for this brand is to impact 1 million people. I wanted to put a huge audacious goal out there, and just, if I've got to knock on 1 million doors to make it happen, I'm just going to enjoy that journey, document that journey, and see where I end up. Because, and even if I'm very confident that I'm going to get there, because I'm going to do as much as I can to make it happen. But if I end up impacting 250,000 people's lives, do you think that I'm really going to be upset about that? It's just shoot for the moon, land in the stars. But how that name was born, I just felt like I was being better than before in it, and that was born. And then I started playing around early on with BTB and bits and pieces, and then I started just changing the lettering around, and then it just hit me, and it looked like a butterfly because I flipped one of the B's and then had them side by side, put the T in the middle, and then I just saw it and I was like, this is absolutely perfect, because it looks like a butterfly. It's taken me 31 years of my life to find that final form of, this beautiful thing, and that's how the butterfly came in, and yeah, better than before. And I just think it can resonate with every single person, everyone, regardless of how well they've done or where they're at. They can always be that, that 1% better. And I'm not trying to tell people to move mountains. It's about, like, I had a coffee this morning, right? If I was feeling a little bit sluggish or whatever, if I have that coffee and it, helps drive me, I feel as though that coffee has set me up to be better than before, and then I've read a book. So it's just consistently moving forward. And it's about whatever that better looks like for you, whether or not, you repaint a wall in your home or whatever it is. If you think that's better than before, well, you've ticked that box. So why I love it so much is I just think there's everyone out there it can resonate with, and that's why.
Yeah, absolutely. But in building this brand and starting as well, what would you say has been the most difficult thing for you starting out?
Just trying to figure everything out. Like there's so many moving parts, and especially when you're doing it by yourself, just like, I'm finding, I had a meeting with an accountant, just understanding, how to commercialize it and all that sort of thing. Just trying to pump out content, like this is a job. I wouldn't call it a job. I'd call it a dream, but, just having to do that and, slowly becoming more structured and understanding. And there's just so many moving parts. And I'm finding, like, Monday to Sunday, I'm pretty much doing something to help push this brand forward now. So you've, at the start, as a startup, you've got to be wearing pretty much every hat, to get an understanding of the full, landscape of, you know, what that business looks like. Um, and at the start, you just don't know where to go. And so you just got to start making decisions and learn from it. And it's been amazing. Like, I didn't have an understanding of, you know, how to structure a business and that sort of thing. And then just people just started showing up, and I've got a few mentors on board now. I've been meeting some amazing like entrepreneurs in New Zealand that are, you know, hugely successful, like multi-millionaires, and that are doing wonderful things. And this has just come from them believing in me, trying to, you know, impact other people's lives and whatever that looks like. So yeah.
Yeah, good man. And again, I want to go back to what you said in the beginning about knowing your why. Knowing the reason why you want to do certain things. I think for you, you said you talked about I think the beginning when you wanted to have your child, that you said to yourself, this is happening and I need to change my ways. That's
Absolutely.
picking your why as well, knowing your why. Because I feel that if you don't know your why or you don't know the reason why you're doing certain things, you can easily give up.
Yeah, oh, definitely. And a lot of people have said to me, you know, like, oh, was it your son that, you know, that changed, everything changed? And he was just the final straw for me. Like, I feel as though every decision I've made in my life has led me there. And like I said, I've always been self-assured. Like, I just feel like that I've got way more to offer. And I back myself. So, and it's okay. Not everyone's going to believe in what I stand for, what my values are. And I'm just in a position where I'm grateful. If you don't believe in me, thank you for not believing in me, because I'm going to use it as a tool to continue pushing forward, because there are people that believe in me. And the pendulum, you know, swings quite heavily. You got a positive, you got a negative. But regardless, if I can look myself in the mirror and say I'm giving it my best every day, that's all that matters. You know, I don't get me wrong. I love when people reach out, and you know, when people telling me, oh, you know, you're saving their life, like you can't even explain it. Like, that to me is what euphoria, you know, really feels like. I literally, you know, get tingles through my body, and sometimes it's tough to, you know, oh, what do I do here? You know, how can I do more? So yeah, it's just one of those things that um, it wasn't it wasn't just my son. He was just the final straw. And I think it's just been a journey to get here. Um, and you got to find that inspiration or whatever it is. Because quite often, I was chatting to someone last night, we easily let ourselves down. Why? Why do we do that to ourselves? You know, and if you have someone else there that you're thinking of that helps drive you through, you should have that same thought process when it comes to you. Don't give up on yourself so easily. Don't get me wrong, it's not easy, and I still fall into traps, but through my awareness and understanding more, like, I'll reflect on it and try and figure out, you know, why or where I've gone wrong, and then I can learn from it, and and then move forward. And then, as you move on, like I say, it becomes far less impactful on your life. Like, where you do go wrong, it's not, I've been on a 2-day bender or something like that, and it's hard to bounce back from, or you've been so pissed that you don't know what's going on and all that sort of thing. So now, if I do make a mistake, it might be instead of, when I'm communicating to my partner or something like that, I might just run off emotion, and then I'll stand back and be like, "Oh, Sam, come on, man, you're working on communication here. Like, why did you react like that?" and that sort of thing. So yeah, this whole journey has just been amazing for me, to grow as an individual and figure out a little bit more about myself.
Yeah, absolutely. But what would you say is the best advice you've gotten so far starting now?
The best advice is just back yourself. Start somewhere, believe in yourself. Self belief is a wonderful, wonderful thing. So through this journey, I won a scholarship in NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming, and so I'm going through that at the moment to learn coaching. And I had a limiting belief the other day about that I wasn't good enough, and we really deep dived into that. And although I had that self belief, I still had doubt there. And so we went through a belief change the other night. And to be honest, I can't say that I've had those thoughts anymore. Like, I've got rid of it. I've understood it, and and now I've got the tools, and I push that aside, and I just continue to move forward. So I'd say that would be it. Is just you need to believe in yourself. You need to back yourself, and try and figure out what's holding you back from that. Why are you like that? Because a lot of things are really deep underlying issues, and you think it's, some people will look up here where you need to be looking right down here. It could be something that you've had a bad relationship with your father, or whatever it is that has actually led you to not have that self-belief or whatever. So yeah, it's far deeper a lot of the times, and it can be quite emotional when you start going down there. But vulnerability and is where you grow.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. I think having that self-belief is key, is great as well, because for me, for example, starting this podcast, because I like stutter a lot, mix my words, and starting out, it was always a case of, case, oh, you stutter, how you going to speak to people, how you going to ask people questions, how you going to hold the conversation, all that was going through my head, and I said to myself, I really want to do this, I really want to do it, and I know that once I start, I'm going to get better, so
Yeah,
I didn't let that, get into my head and say, Kes, you're not good enough for this, why do you want to do this?
yeah,
Why do you want to go into that? So that self-belief is key, Sam, is key.
yeah. I believe too. And for me, like I feel as though and when I was starting video, like it's hard to have a camera in front of you. It's not easy. And like sales is my background, talking to people. And as you can see here, we've got a bit of a conversation going, but it's good to just show, your genuine and authentic self. It's, we're not perfect. And sometimes we be a little bit too hard on ourselves. Like sometimes like what's going on up here, I've got amazing ideas. And then when I go to articulate it or speak about it, I get a little bit, I'm
Yeah,
like you too, bro. So I'm like, okay, how do I get around that? So it's like, um, by doing this, you know, it just helps out a lot, because you're communicating a lot more, then you can reflect on it. And one of the big things, I put my hand up for is I've got to learn to listen more too. And that's why I'm really looking forward to podcasting, so that I can just ask questions and, learn and listen and continue to evolve, because I know it's something that, I continuously need to work on. I love the sound of my own voice.
Absolutely, bro. You just said that we're here having this conversation, trying to build that relationship, for you, how important is building a relationship and being relatable as well in building a business? How important is that?
What was that? Sorry.
I said, how important is, building a relationship, and being relatable as well, how important is that, when you want to grow your business and start a business as well?
I think it's one of those things that you just like, everyone's relatable, you're passionate about something, and there's going to be someone else out there that's, that can vibe with that as well. And, you need to find the right people that are going to, that want to be a part of it. And sometimes you overthink it. And, I did at the start, like, who's going to get on board with this? And, I mean, TikTok's been a lot quicker growth. Instagram's been tougher, but, I'm coming up to about 30,000 on there. So sometimes, yeah, you overthink it and think that, people aren't going to align with you. But, generally everyone's got a story to tell. And, we've all been through so much that you can relate. And it's just about, showing that vulnerability and, opening up. And, I guarantee, talking about drinking, there's probably someone that listens to this and is like, oh, geez, that's something I could probably, address and things like that. And you need to build, solid relationships, because for me, like, even at the start, it was tough to, like, say, wear all those hats. So now I want to start pumping out more content. So through my reflection, I'm like, okay, how can I do this? So I put it out there, and a young guy has jumped on board now. Now he's started cutting up content for me, and I'm like, hey, here's an opportunity for you. If you want to get involved, I'm going to launch the apparel. Here's how I can add value to you. You can, be under the brand. I want to give you my time, effort, and energy to help you grow. And especially at someone at 16, like, I want to help impact this dude's life, and maybe learn some lessons earlier than what I did. And so I gave him this piece of content, and he turned it around within like 24 hours. Like, I was hugely, blown away. And it was tough for him to show emotion. And then he messaged me after and just said, like, oh, I'm so thankful. Like, I know you probably don't see it, but like, this is just such an awesome opportunity. I just want you to know that. So, um, and also you need to shoot shots. Like, I'm shooting shots at some amazing people, and some people, again, are going to believe in what you stand for. Some people aren't. So it's about, you've got to create opportunities for yourself. You've got to tell people, what you stand for. And it's important to do that. And for me too, that I want this to be a community. I want it to be a family. So I can't do this alone. It's about, impacting other people's lives. So you need good people around you. You need, people will believe in you regardless. So yeah, it's definitely important, to build those solid relationships. And like I said, I've got amazing mentors that are coming in. I'm going to build a board around, better than before to help it, continue to move forward. And, you know, I was looking at my phone the other day, and, that they say about, say the top 5 to 10 people that you've got in your inbox, you want them to be inspiring, and are they helping you, move forward with your life? And, especially from a New Zealand point of view, and Australia, the people that are in there right now are amazing people. And those are opportunities that either I've created for myself, or they've seen what I'm doing and they've reached out to me. And then I've started to think, okay, how can I add value for this person so that we can, push on forward? And one of my mentors, Harry, has really helped out. He's got so much going on, but he's still made time for me. He's working like 16 hours a day, and he's still giving me, an hour or a few hours a week to consistently move forward. And then he's networking me on with other people. And then I sat down with amazing guy, David Higgins, who owns an events company over here. And, he started from poverty, and he's told me about his story, and, and I'm learning lessons from amazing people. So yeah, I would just say to anyone, just keep shooting shots out there, and make things happen for yourself. But believe in yourself. It's so, so important. And just the sooner you realize that not everyone is going to help out. And that was a struggle for me, because in that sales world, like, I just think I'm a caring, compassionate person, that I never want anyone, to piss anyone off or anything like that. And especially when you're, say, the face of a brand or a business, the last thing you want to do is, ducking and weaving, because you're the one that's going to get the black eyes and a broken nose. And I'm not keen for that. Although I've got a face for radio, but it's I want to look after what I've got. So it's hugely important. But what I've realized, and I've spoken about this a few times of late, it's like you literally, you can't please everyone. So the sooner you realize that, and you can, like I say, be grateful for the people that don't believe and grateful for the people that do believe, that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. But where do you say you're taking better than before? The brand. Where's the brand going from here?
It's tough to say. Like, I'm still trying to figure it out. So yeah, I've launched my free 7-day challenge. So I put it out there, and got about over 100 downloads, and people have been, holding themselves accountable, physically and mentally, to move forward with their lives. And I want to support that. And then it was like, okay, it's gone well, but how do you continue to move forward and help these people go even further? So I was like, right, let's run the 7-day challenge, and let's build a, community around that. So I put it out there, got about 25 people. So I started it yesterday, and we came in as a group. And then my friend Hayden, so he's going through similar journey as what I am, and we grew up and went to the same school. He's about a year older than me, and he's really turned his life around, and we've sort of been vibing back and forward. And I was like, he's doing amazing things. Like, I can't do this alone. You want to, continue to bring other people in. So I just said, hey, bro, are you keen to get on board? Because that's how I see myself, is like, I want to continue networking, continuing doing the podcasting and stuff. I'm going to be a mental skills coach, but for me, I don't want it to be like Sam Ringdahl, mental skills coach. Like, I want to continue to build the brand. So I was like, but I want that to be a part of it. So I was like, okay, let's bring Hayden in. He's keen to give us time. So like with the 7-day challenge, he did an accountability module last night and spoke, really opened up about where his struggles were. So now I've got someone else coming in on board to help out with that. So how I see it is just like, how can I make, more help? So I want, mental skills to be a part of it, and that sort of stuff. And then also, like, what I would really love is I'd love to end up bringing athletes on board. So, you've got the sponsored gear, and then also, if they need to go through mental skills coaching and stuff, you've got, coaching within this. Also, I want to look at like doing subscription models and things like a little bit, behind the scenes, or scaling it out so that you can, get money can't buy experiences within the brand. Do you look at like bringing on like family therapists and stuff. So instead of just dealing with one person, you can deal with, family and things. And then, helping, I think it's really cool for kids to get on board with brands and things like that. But there's no like segue between, a professional athlete that gets looked after by, say, like Red Bull. But what about, those opportunities before then? So you bring a kid on board, he might be playing, football at a reasonable level for a young guy. You make him feel as though he's like kind of like sponsored. He gets some free better than before gear. You can give him some mental skills training and things like that. So for me, I'm just trying to figure out, what's working. I was looking at potentially starting a better, I love sport. Sport's a huge part of my life. And it's like, maybe I start a Better Than Before sports podcast and things too. So like, I'm just trying to, ever evolve it and based around what I love, sport, helping others, consistently trying to move forward with my life. And so, yeah, it's one of those things I really don't know. The main goal is to just impact lives and create an amazing brand instead of, just one person doing something. Like I want to, scale it out. And then from that, I'm learning all these things about business. What's to say that I can't, because I'll learn everything. And as it grows, people will be like, oh, how did you do that? So then I can start consulting in business, or, you can end up becoming a media company. So it's just the more knowledge you have, the more you can offer. So right now I'm just going on the journey to impact lives and help people to be better than before. And then it'll all start figuring itself out.
Absolutely, Sam, man. I love that, and talking about what you love, and telling about your passion as well, how important you think is passion, having a passion for something, doing something when it comes to building a brand and a business.
This is right up there for me, especially this for me outside of, I mean, this is a part of it now, family and everything like that for me, but this is my number one passion. Like to say that I've got my own brand, I get to build this out, and now I've just got to cement it. Like I've been given an opportunity now. Like I've taken a big pay cut, and I've got a couple of homes, I've got mortgages to pay and things like that. So, sometimes things are going to be a little bit scary. The starts, the hardest bit, but the passion and the why, tie in hand together. And for me, I figured out what I wanted my why to be, or, why I feel as though I'm here. And, you have to have passion. Like the last thing I would want to do is like I said, I was working for great brands. I was passionate about it, but I'm nowhere near as passionate about what this is. And, even when one person extra gets on board each day or whatever it is, it's just it's a thrill of the chase. But you have to be passionate about what you do. The last thing I'd want to do is get up every day, go to work and just be happy with mediocre. Like you've really got to figure out what you want from life. And listening to someone like Gary Vee, if you want to be speaking about Power Rangers or start a podcast on Power Rangers, like that could literally set you up, because there's other people out there that love the Power Rangers. So you have to figure out what you're passionate about and start, building everything around that. I mean, I'm quite lucky. I feel as though this has happened really quickly to be able to, I lost my job, and going through that, like this came up at pretty much exactly the same time. And, huge risk. I'm scared, but, I'm embracing it and consistently moving forward. But yeah, for me, passion is everything. And this is the biggest passion in my life. Like I feel as though I'm trying to sell myself and what my values are here. And, having that sales background, and then the thing that you believe in the most, which is, myself, it's a match made in heaven for me.
Yes, and I know we've spoken about branding, in a couple of minutes back, but for you, in terms of building a brand, and personal branding as well, business branding, which comes first, your personal branding or business branding? Which of them comes first for you?
So for me, like I could have gone down two tracks here. I felt it's like I could have personal branded me, and then gone down, that mental performance coach and things. But what I wanted to do is like I've always loved a brand and what it stood for and that sort of thing. And although I'm kind of like the face of it, I feel as though it's kind of an alignment between both, because it's only me at the moment. That's who you see. Like, but moving forward, There's going to be a lot of other faces that are on board too, but I feel this is a way for it to be bigger than me. Like if I wanted apparel to be a part of this, like I can't really be putting my face on t-shirts. That's only going to appeal to so many people. Whereas, how I see this is like seeing that logo, like I work out in here in the garage and, just looking at that, it just helps drive me through that 1% better. So, or that little bit harder and things. And for me, I want to be wearing the brand because I see it as a tool through meditation and things. I used to put a little star on my desk because quite easily every day you get caught up in thoughts or you start procrastinating. And, I'd see that star and it's like, oh, there's a lot going on up here. Just take a deep breath, Sam. It's going to be okay. Or, I might be slacking off a bit and then I see that and I'm like, come on, drive a bit harder. So how I see it is I want to use this as a tool every day to help move forward. So that's why, the apparel comes. It's not, whether you got a little pen that you use at your desk and it's got better than before. I want you to use that pen to help change your life, like to hold you accountable every day to be, a little bit better as that gentle reminder that you've got there. And you're not going to notice it all the time, but then sometimes you're going to be like, oh, so then there's kind of like an entry point. And how I see that is like, I want to continue to give back. So if people are purchasing, whether it be, a pen or apparel or whatever it is, it's actually going to be a tool to impact your life. It's going to help this brand and, help me to continue to do more. And then it's going to impact someone else's life because I'll continue to give back. So through that pen, there's 3 lives that are impacted through something, this big with a little bit of ink in it that costs you $5 or $2 or whatever it is. So, it was like, how can, I appeal, but use it as a tool. And I feel as though getting the best of both worlds is, people, Nike is an example, amazing brand, awesome kit. But the thing is, like, I would say 50% of people probably don't even know who Phil Knight is, the founder of Nike. So it's like, how can you build a brand? And the way the world's going with creators and, people like to see a face of the brand and things like that. Yeah, I feel as though it's kind of the best of both worlds. And, I'm going to be proud to be wearing that brand and, what it stands for and things too. So for me, it's a balance between both. And some people have been like, oh, you need to be a personal brand or you need to be this. But I'm like, well, this is what's working for me now. Someone might tell me differently, but I've just got to do what I think's best. And if it needs to change down the track or if it needs to change tomorrow, then so be it. It's never set in concrete for me. It's always changing. I mean, for me, the amount of times that, the vision and mission and that consistently keeps changing, it's ever evolving. And that's the thing. And if you're not moving forward or, if you're not aware of what's going on, you'll end up getting left behind, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. I get it, man. I think it's all about starting, baby steps, just start, just start the journey and things will come. You have people that will help you along the way as well, and I know people, when you listen to a lot of, speakers, they always tell you, oh, you have to build your personal brand and, you build your business branding, but for you, I think it's a mix of just starting, wherever the journey takes you, you as long as you know your why, you know why you're doing it as well, you know where you're going, people will definitely help you along the way, like for instance, now I'm speaking to you now. I just messaged you on Instagram, right? You commented on someone's post, and I saw it. Oh, this is a nice comment. I reached out to you, and here we are speaking on this podcast now. So I think
Awesome.
I think for me, like you said, I'm around that as well. You just start. You never know where it's taking you, but just start.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, exactly that. And I wouldn't have got the sponsorship if I didn't put a hashtag. Like one person saw a hashtag. Like, so I've got way more followers on TikTok than I do Instagram, but Instagram is what has got me, the sponsorship. So yeah, shout out to my sponsor, Kings and Neon. If anyone does need a neon, they ship worldwide. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, don't be too scared because, you see these people that have got huge followings and they're not using hashtags and things, I would just suggest do what's best for you. And like you say, just start. I mean, how far have you come since you have started?
Yeah. So since I've started, because this wasn't my first podcast, you see. So my first podcast is just Ask the Pros, speaking to black entrepreneurs and people black, trying to make that difference, change our narrative as well. But on starting that journey, I I sort of thought to myself, I want to speak because I'm kind of in a family of where people do business, business owners as well. Said, why don't you start talking to business people in a way, you learn more things about businesses as well. So from starting that one podcast, now I have this Askdpros business, and from this now I have another podcast which is around my profession, what I do, my 9 to 5. So
Awesome.
I think starting out is the main thing, because if I didn't start that first podcast, I won't be where I am today.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. And then you consistently continue to move forward, you continue to evolve, and people, the more people you surround yourself with, they're going to come at you with ideas, and you can pick and choose what you think is a great idea, and where you want to execute and things like that. So yeah, the biggest thing is just starting. And for me, this was a passion project at the start, and then it's just it starts to accelerate, things start to compound, and yeah, I can't literally explain where I'm at now in such a short space of time. So I'm very excited, like, to say that I'm where I am now. Like, what's the next 3? What's the next 5? What's the next 10 years going to look like? Through consistency and showing up every day to be the best version of myself. Like, some people will be like, might not believe in, like I say, what I'm doing, but the thing is, like, I'm in the best spot of my life right now. So I wouldn't change anything, because it's helped me. It helps hold me accountable, and other people being inspired and motivated through that too. And that's what it's all about, is creating that family or community to facilitate positive changes, and better me, better you, better culture. That's the main thing. And culture is something that I'm hugely passionate about, and the more people I can bring in to help facilitate that impact. And it's amazing. Like, I go out and I might do something, and like one of the videos has got like 300,000 views or something like that. And then through that, I inspired a little man, and then he'll be inspired for the rest of his life. Probably remember that, he might grow up and then can, want to be doing something like that to inspire other people, or his parents were just blown away when it all evolved as a random act of kindness. And then, they might go and give back to somebody else. So even through this, there's things that are happening that I'm not actually seeing. Like, I know people are sending me messages. There's even people that are watching that don't speak up. So yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I love that. But if someone comes to you right now and says, Sam, I love what you're doing. I love your journey so far. It's been an amazing journey. And I want to get into it. And I also want to start a business as well. What would you say to that person?
Just start. Like, what is it? Write it down on paper, have goals. Like, it's amazing and blows my mind that people don't set goals. If you don't have, if you don't have goals, or you don't have a path, how are you going to get to where you want to go? Like, I always thought that too. People are like, you got goals? I'm like, yeah, I got goals. I don't have anything written down. I didn't have a plan, or what the how or the why, and that sort of thing was, really strategic around it. But even if you write something down on paper and that's your goal, you might come back a week later and be like, oh yeah, but how am I going to actually execute that? So, yeah, it's amazing that, through this journey, I want to help people, get as many tools as they possibly can, and help figure out what works for them, because that's the thing. Like, what's working for me, like, I'm going to help add value in that way. But I want to bring other people into this community, because everyone's been through something. Everyone can learn, through somebody else, and they might not resonate with me, but there might be someone as part of that community, and they may reach out to me, and I'm like, hey, I'm not too sure here, but maybe I can connect you with this person, and then they can help you or give some feedback on that. So that's, in my opinion, what it's all about.
Yeah, cool. Sam, love it, man. Love the way the show is going so far. But what is that thing that you want someone to take out of this show, out of this conversation? That thing that someone will take and say, what? I listened to Sam, and Sam said this. It's gonna stick with me for a long time. What was that thing?
I would say it's like we've both touched on it. I think it both resonates for both of us. It's just start and really, reflect on your why, figure out your why, figure out your passion, and then commit to it. I'm not saying go chuck your job in or anything like that, and hope for the best. But you can literally be building these things outside of it. Like, You know, I don't watch a lot of TV and things like that now. I watch YouTube and things, but I'm always trying to look at content that helps me move forward, that I can actually learn from it, rather than just sitting there. You know, there's a time and a place. Like sometimes you just want to relax, and you know, it might be watch a movie with my partner, and we just, you know, eat junk food or whatever it is. But yeah, if I'd rather be spending my time consistently evolving, consistently moving forward with my life, because that's how I truly see what I'm capable of. And, you know, someone like, you know, David Goggins, like he's amazing at what he does, and it's bloody inspiring. But, you know, you're not David Goggins. So don't try to be him. You know, you can take stuff out of that, you know, in his mindset. And, you know, if you love fitness and stuff, you know, go for it. But, you know, I'm not saying like you have to be out there running ultra marathons to be, you know, perceived as someone with the mindset of a champion. You know, like I wouldn't say that I have the mindset of what he does in his field, but like, you know, I think, and mine's ever evolving and growing. And it's about, you know, there's things that I'm still working on, you know, like I'm working on my binge eating and things, because my body would be a lot in even better condition if I had that under control. Because quite often, you know, I'll just start eating and then I'll be like, oh, so it's like, okay, here's an issue here, let's address it. And, you know, I consistently continue to fall off, you know. So I'm on this module now. I've already done it. I did it, you know, probably 2 or 3 months ago. It still hasn't worked to, you know, where I want it to be. So I'm going back through it again for another 30 days. Because I did take something away from it, and it's about being mindful, you know, like when you're eating, instead of just shoveling it in, like think about, you know, what you're eating, what are the tastes, what are the textures. So you're just thinking about literally what you are eating. That's what you're thinking about, not getting caught up in your thoughts, and you're sitting there just, you know, shoveling it in. And awareness and is a huge thing. Um, so yeah, it's important to, you know, to reflect and make sure, you know, anything that you do, try and be as present as you can in that moment. And then it cuts out all the outside noise. So like if you're doing the vacuuming, just think about the vacuum, you know, think about pulling the trigger and that sort of thing, because you're present there, and it actually helps give your mind a, you know, a way to just take a step back. And so you're not getting caught up in your thoughts, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. And yeah, for me, another thing too is like being more structured. And um, you know, I write things down, I do every day, but I still catch myself like, I'm like, you got the game plan here, what am I doing? You know, I'm not working to the plan. So again, it's that awareness piece, and I'll consistently, you know, keep moving forward, and you know, it'll just start funneling down. And yeah, I'm excited, really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're on an amazing journey as well, you know, and I see that, you know, the way you started your journey, your story, you know, you're going places and you're doing an amazing job as well. You know, but for us to end, you know, in this conversation, Sam, you know, what does legacy mean to you, you know, in terms of, you know, your legacy, what you want people to perceive you as, you know, when you leave finally, you know, things you want to leave behind as well. You know, what is that thing you want people to remember for?
I want to be remembered as the guy that gave everything and took nothing, or just took what I needed, you know, and that's the most important thing. And this whole journey is about my legacy. You know, standing up. I want to be, I guess, remembered, or, you know, for what I stood for, and that I really try to make a difference, and, you know, stop just thinking about myself. And quite often, you know, in the past I would do that, like, you know, an opportunity would come my way and it's like me. And now it's like, okay, you know, this has come my way. Is this something that, you know, I'm really going to get value out of, that's important? Because, you know, sometimes you do need to take things for yourself. Or is it like, okay, I can make more impact here by seeing, you know, what else I can do, or how I can impact somebody else's life. So yeah, for me, this is a journey of legacy. Working again at Red Bull, they were huge about, you know, cementing your legacy, being the best place that you ever worked, you know, giving you wins and things like that. So it resonates, you know, any top sports team like the All Blacks and things, you know, it's all about legacy and leaving your legacy in the jersey and things. So yeah, this is, I guess, my life legacy. And now I've fully figured out, yeah, that why and how I want to create that legacy. And now it's on that journey to cement it. And I don't know how bad it is on your side of the world, but on mine, you know, it's one of those things where tall poppy syndrome, and it's just like people will just try to chop you down. You know, I've lost quite a bit of weight this year, and it was through hard work, and I was like showing people it was through hard work, through, you know, posting on stories. I was working out twice a day, Yet there's still people out there that'll, want to say, oh, he's on, hard drugs and things, and that's how he's lost the weight. So there's always people out there that are going to pull you down, regardless of how hard you work and what you do. But yeah, for me, two of those things that we've touched on in this podcast, passion and legacy, or, and the why, like those three things for me are just absolute pillars to success, in my opinion.
Yeah, massive, massive, Sam, man. Love it, And Sam, if you guys want to get in touch with you, where's the best place, to get in touch with you?
So if you want to get in touch, feel free. And if you're going through anything, I don't have all the answers, please send me a message. I need any opportunity I can to make impact. I might not have all the answers, but maybe I can, connect you onto somebody that can help out, or because there's some amazing people part of this community that, want to do exactly the same thing. So you can find me on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. If you type in Better Than Before, and look for the butterfly logo, that's where I'll be, or it's at BETTR.than.before. But yeah, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure. This is the amazing thing, getting to meet awesome people, surround myself in a positive environment to help me move forward. I've taken a lot away from this conversation. I look forward to seeing where this goes. And I guess anyone out there, you should empower yourself, feel motivated, and every single day move forward with your life to be better than before.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam, man. Love it as well, man. Love the show. I'm taking the great things out of the show as well. Passion, starting, just putting yourself out there, regardless of what people say, the most important thing is, you're doing the positive thing and changing mindsets as well, changing the environment, working with people, building a relationship as well, which is key, and I also want to thank you again for being on the show, and I'm grateful as well.
Me too. I'd like to finish on I guess we touch on gratitude. I just want to say that I'm grateful for you. I hope you have a amazing, it's quite late over there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite late. It's like 11, about 11. Yeah, quite late.
That's sweet as. I hope you have a good sleep then. Yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure. I can't wait to see your evolution. And yeah, let's get after it.
Yeah, Sam. Nice one, man. Good brother, man. Good.